Okay, today we're going to be looking at solving one-step equations. So the things I'm going to remember when solving an equation, and this is going to kind of carry with us through the next couple lessons, is first I want to draw a fence, then I'm going to draw a box on each side of the fence. One box will be for letters, the other one will be for numbers. Decide if a number is positive or negative by looking to the future or in front of the number to decide if it's positive or negative. And then when going over the fence, a positive number becomes a negative becomes a positive. And then the last step is we're going to get rid of the number in the letter box, if there is one. You must either multiply or divide when getting rid of this. Divide when it looks like when you have a number next to a letter, and then multiply if it looks like a fraction, a letter over a number. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of examples. So my first example is going to be n plus 5 equals 4. I do realize that you probably can do this one in the head, but we're going to go ahead and get used to going through these steps, so when we get to multi-step or two-step equations, we're pretty good with it. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw my fence. There's my fence. So I separated the two sides, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in two boxes. One box will be for letters, and the other one is going to be for all my numbers. So if it has a letter with it, I'm going to put it in the letter box. If it's in the if it's a number, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the number box. Now the biggest thing I'm going to remember first, if it is on the same side as the box, I don't have to change anything. I just have to drop it down. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the n down since it's on the number side. So there's nothing else I'm going to do with that n. And I'm looking at my problem here, and I do not see any other n's. So I'm good there. So I'm going to do the same thing with the 4s. I'm going to go ahead, since it's on the same side as the box, I'm going to go ahead and drop that 4 down into that box. Now I do have one other number, which is my 5. So my next step is to kind of think about if it's if it's positive or negative. So like I said earlier, we've got to look to the future. So it's a positive 5, so it has to be a negative 5 when I take it over the fence. Because remember, the rule was that if you go over the fence, a positive becomes a negative becomes a positive. So then I'm in pretty good position right now. All I have to do is go ahead and combine my number box. So I have 4 minus 5, which ends up being -1. And I don't have any number in front of the letter. I technically have that ghost number that I know is there, but I don't always see him, which is 1. But if I took -1 divide by -1, I would just get -1 again. So that's going to end up being our final answer for that one, is -1. Let's go ahead and take a look at another problem. Let's do n minus 3 equals 8. Okay, so again, my first step is to go ahead and draw the fence. And then I'm going to go ahead and put boxes and label them. So my letter, and then my number box over here. And it doesn't matter which side you put them on. You'll see that in a little bit. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and consistently put my letters on the left side there. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and start dropping things down, anything that's on the same side. So the n is on the same side as the letter box, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop my n in. My 8 is on the same box or side of my number box, so I'm going to drop that in. Now I have to look at my -3 and look to the future, or it is a negative, so I just determined it was negative by looking at the future of it. So I really have to make it a +3 when I bring it over the fence. And then if I take 8 plus 3, I get 11, so n equals 11. Now we're going to try some that involve multiplication and division. So I have 3n equals 21. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to still go ahead and draw my fence. Draw my boxes, letters, and my numbers. I'm going to go ahead and drop everything in. So my 3n is on the same side as my letters. My 21 is on the same side as my numbers. Now, we do notice that this time I do have a number with my letter. So going back to the top here, it said that to get rid of a number in a letter box, you must multiply or divide. Divide when it looks like a number and a letter. And I can confirm, yes, that looks like a number and a letter, so I'm going to go ahead and divide 3 here, and I'm also going to divide 3 over here. So then we can come out and find out that n equals 7. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at a multiplication one. Okay, so I'm still going to go ahead and go through my steps. I'm going to first draw my fence, put my boxes. This will be my letter box. This will be my number box. I'm going to go ahead and drop things in. It's on the same side, so I don't change the sign. This is on the same side, so it just becomes 3. Now I do see that it's a letter over a number, so when it tells us that I have a number over a letter, I need to multiply. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 8 over here, which cancels out, and I'm going to multiply by 8 over here. So n equals 24. Now you're going to go ahead and work some problems on your own.